Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aifabi Barakar, and this is the assigned report that I'm going to discuss. So we have the Philippine Basic Education Curriculum. The first one, we have the National Elementary School Curriculum, the new Secondary Education Curriculum, and third, Revised Basic Education Curriculum, and fourth, we have the Secondary Education Curriculum based on Understanding by Design Model 2010 and the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum. To further discuss it one by one, we have here first the National Elementary School Curriculum, which has the following characteristics. First, it introduces grade by grade. It is an outcome-oriented, which focuses on learning process, which are the 3 R's, the reading, writing, and arithmetic. On its strength, National Elementary School Curriculum mold learners as good and productive agent, provide basic preparation to be enlightened, nationalistic, self-reliant, God-loving, creative, versatile, and productive. On the other hand, on its weaknesses, National Elementary School Curriculum offers too many subjects, more subject, less content, whereby teachers are overwhelmed by many subjects to be taught. So, curriculum experts identified different contents, skills, and values that needed to be learned by elementary students. These competencies is called minimum learning competencies or the MLC. So a child must acquire the required competencies with at least 75% of mastery. So in other words, 7 out of 10 questions in a formative test. So National Elementary School Curriculum was the answer to conflict in previous surveys in terms of education and level of acquiring learning abilities. The contact time for this curriculum is increased for both teachers and students to link themselves in terms of improving education. In conclusion, NESC not just emphasize the development of competencies and but provide subject areas for us to be literate, but also to realize on how it will help us in daily lives and to perform what is good and right. In addition, it consists personal development, awareness, and self-identity. Second, we have the new secondary education curriculum, which has the following characteristics. First, learning areas to be taught 400 minutes daily, such as the subject values education, social studies, Filipino, science and technology, English, physical education, health and music, technology, and home economics. On its strength, new secondary education curriculum is give more time for mastery of skills and strengthen preparation for work or tertiary education. But on the other hand, on its weakness, new secondary education curriculum has no mastery of subject matter, overcrowded of subjects, deficiency in reading ability. So, weakness niya is that difficulties in some matters, such as poor comprehension and lack of vocabulary, overloaded paperworks, conflict to student learning difficulties of learners, continuous proper use of strategies, lack of learning materials. So elementary secondary curriculum should seek the improvements or developments of students as they grow old or as they step for next level. So NSEC is a crowded curriculum which pertains to quality and developed high school graduates. So, on an evaluation of NESC and NSEC, wherein they review it and said that curriculum development is a never-ending process. So, the Committee on Curriculum Reform was formed with the participation of officials from the academe, the private sector, and civil society, and they came out with 2002 Basic Education Curriculum, which has undergone national pilot tests way back school year 2002. So, the basic education curriculum was implemented, but less than a year, a new curriculum, which is the revised basic education curriculum, was signed into law. So now we have the revised basic education curriculum or RBEC. So It has greater emphasis on helping every learners to become successful leaders. On its strengths, it outlines easiest possible path for creating severely undereducated students, and on its weakness, it different interests of students' pedagogical approaches, too much branches of learning, lack of knowledge skills. So on its strength, it able to students to master the competencies, learning approaches, and develop skills, attitudes, values, functional literacy, patriotism, and to improve oneself and one's relationship with fellow human beings. On its weakness, lack of teaching content for other subject, which causes under satisfactory of interest, lack of reflection learning materials, also because of out of resources. There are a lot of reasons why curriculum should be constructed. When constructing curriculum, it doesn't mean perfect revision on it fit all the conflict. Instead, it means looking for more learning style for students by generation to improve and develop quality of education and literacy. The fourth one, we have the secondary education curriculum, understanding by design model 2010. So it has the characteristics of pattern content of revised basic education curriculum 2002, which has 8 core subject areas. So its strength focuses on essential understanding, provides personalized approach, develop readiness and fashion, and on the other hand, on its weakness, it is subjective in nature, difficulty assessing students' thoughts and feelings toward topics. So on its strength, students' ability to clearly express one's ideas and feelings orally and non-verbally, ability to listen, comprehend, and respond to ideas. So, secondary education curriculum understanding by design model pertains to consider the students first to provide better and effective curriculum to fit the learning difficulties and improvements of students. And lastly, we have the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum, whereby it covers kindergarten, 12 years basic education, and provides sufficient time for mastery of concepts and skills. So on its strength, it strengthens early childhood education, make curriculum relevant to learners, ensure integrated and seamless learning. On its weakness, it is a congested subjects to be taught, poor content of subject area, lack of textbook and teacher training, poor basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. So, on K-12 basic education curriculum possesses sufficient mastery of basic competencies and holistic development of acquisition of 21st century skills. So, it follows learning the spiral material progression, and it is the process of building upon obtaining previous learned knowledge, considering content from constructivism. And lastly, for my report, let's have a comparative analysis on the ARBEC curriculum and the K-12 curriculum. Under ARBEC, we have students' performance as primary source for grading, such as reading and writing skills. It is typically teacher-centered environment, wherein more traditional and conventional approach, and then children must enroll in first grade accordingly. On the other hand, on the K-12 curriculum, it provides 12 years to complete competency mastery. It is dynamic and complex development. Teacher and students engage and then promote learning benefit between teacher and student, and it develop the competence conceptual, life learning, life experiences, and procedural knowledge. So this ends my report. Once again, Assalamualaikum.